Hi there everyone, welcome back to Nightshade After Dark. I'm your host, Michael Shepard, and with me tonight we only have with us AJ. We don't have Donnie or Cece tonight, but we've got AJ, and we're so glad that he's here. Tonight's topic is going to be about something that everyone's been a little bit affected by, probably every step of their lives from childhood up until adult years. And we're going to discuss the standards of beauty and how that has changed and how that has affected us in different parts of our lives. And I'm going to start with a little personal story about myself. As you can see clearly, I am an African American man. My skin is very dark, and I absolutely love that about myself. And not to say that there's problems with anybody else, but growing up, I've had people in my own family, for example, like long distant relatives come over for the first time in like 2 years, and I'd open the door for them, and the first thing they would say to me is, "What happened? Why are you so dark? Why don't you stay out of the sun? You keep getting darker." Because I used to be very light-skinned person when I was a child. And sometimes they say things like, a side note, I'm actually diabetic too. There's no proof of this, by the way. Like, I've been to many doctors my whole life and dietitians and nurses, and no one's ever said this to me. But for some reason, one of them will say that, no, sweetheart, just leave him alone. It's because he's diabetic. The diabetes is what's making him dark, okay? And I guess sometimes I wonder to myself, like, I would look at myself in the mirror and I'd be okay with what I see, but for some reason I keep getting these kind of remarks from other people. And so I'm gonna take it over to you, AJ, and I just wanna know, have you ever known someone who's had this kind of experience before?
No, I don't, and for that to occur, I feel very bad because, like, as family, they're the ones that are supposed to encourage you, that's supposed to say it doesn't matter how you look or how dark you are, what you are, your color is what makes you you. Mm-hmm. So your beauty is not about your color of your skin or about what you have on. It's just how much you put out there to make yourself look. It's just what you put out there. Yeah.
What has led people to have that kind of mindset in their lives? And I think for one of the major aspects, I don't know what your opinion is on this, but I'm going to ask you in a moment, is for example where we live. For example, here we live in Toronto, and if you look around, you know, on the ground level and you walk on the streets, you see people of different body sizes, of different heights. You know, you see people like me who are like 6'5", but then you see people like, you know, that guy from Game of Thrones who's one of the little people. You see little people too. So you got from extremely tall to very short, and you've got from thin to large and every size in between. And on top of that, you know, you got colors from like the extreme of being white, which is like really pale or ghost skin, and the extreme of being dark, which is like really dark, and everything in between. But for some reason, and I've noticed for like the longest time, especially in a city like Toronto that's very multicultural, you don't seem to get advertising that represents that diversity. What do you think about that?
The topic that you said about like size, you can be tall, short, medium, build, skinny, all that. It still comes down to like, it's just inside of you, right? The beauty, cause like me, I don't think, I'm a medium guy. I'm a little bit built, but do I think that I'm beautiful? No, because you know what, the beauty is pretty much inside of you. Because like my wife can say, you know what, honey, you're beautiful every day. What though is, if she sees my beauty, I know that, you know what, somebody believes that I'm beautiful, so I can go out there with confidence, with energy, just to accomplish whatever I need to accomplish. So it's just that small little aspect of like of a word that can make a whole pathway for you.
Do you think that sometimes when what we see on a daily basis, like I've been to other countries, and I've been to mainly African countries, some Middle Eastern, but wherever I've gone, because the majority of the population is of a certain appearance, usually the advertisements will be a representation of that appearance. So for example, if I've been to African countries, majority of the people there are black people. So usually the advertisements that we get here, where majority of the people would be white people, over there it's black people. But over here, we have a diversity, and sometimes that doesn't seem to be very much represented on the cover of a magazine or on TV shows or movies or modeling for clothes. Do you think that affects people as they're growing up to feel insecure about themselves?
Good question. Yeah, I remember living in Scarborough. They always had the mannequins that are slim, right? So now, looking back, like in 2000, like looking now, you can actually see that the mannequins, they're all in all sizes. So that's like a step up, because they're now looking at beauty as big women, and though it's like beauty is in everyone. So you can be that skinny person, you can be that big person, or you can be that black, or you can be that white, but it's just the beauty is there. And with the mannequins, as you're saying, mannequins, when you went traveling, for like they are representing, you know what, their nation, and they're also representing some another nation, saying, you know what, we don't discriminate against a white mannequin or a black mannequin, because we want people to be able to come and see that, you know what, we're open to you guys. That's what
what impact, like what you just said about displaying the unique beauty of different kinds of people, as you just said, what impact do you think that would have on members of society?
It will have a tremendous, like a tremendous impact, because those people that feel insecure about like their size, about like, you know what, oh, I'm too big, or I need to be skinny. No, all that does not change your beauty, because you know what, any man would care for somebody who's big or not big. Don't hide something that you were born with. Live it. Let it be you. Don't try to change it because somebody says, you know what, you need to go on a diet. No, you do something because, you know what, that's what you want to do, not just because somebody tells you to, because that's not love, and that's not beauty.
Have you ever noticed examples in your day-to-day life where the people you may have encountered or be acquainted with, that they are interested in different body types other than what is typically used on advertisements? Are people into different things? Because before you answer, I'll go ahead and tell you. I watched 2 YouTube videos.
Yeah.
One was where a guy talked about how he preferred women with a little bit body hair, but typically you don't see that on models or on magazines, right? Yeah. And another one was about a part in America where everybody, you know, there was like this club, and the big thing in this club was being like really, really big, like really, really big women. And they were talking about how, you know, over here being thin is actually the opposite of being beautiful. So those are 2 examples that I have. What about you?
For me, I don't care. I don't care what a person's size is. I don't care for none of that. Unless that person, you know, is from the heart, and they use their heads to do something that's good. That's all that matters to me. As long as they can, like, you know what they want in life, and have that determination to do it, then I'm happy with them. Size don't matter, because you know what, I could be a big person, or I can be a short person, but if somebody can love me for my mind or my dedication to what I want to do, then you know what, that's showing me that they care for me. That's showing that my size or my build or my skinniness doesn't matter to them, because they're gonna be with me no matter how far down the road I go.
I want to jump into another topic, and that is the topic of like worldly success and how it may relate to standards of beauty. Now, I'm sure we've all come across situations where we've noticed that people who have a certain physical image are more likely to be selected for, I don't know, maybe singing or modeling,
basketball,
and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But what about places where you're not necessarily selected and you just feel like it's not necessarily being selected by judges, but being selected by your own peers? Perhaps some people feel that, you know, if they don't look a certain way, then people avoid them. They don't have very many friends. And I'm gonna go specifically into, like, right now, school, for example. Yep. So sometimes maybe kids do have this potential to do academically well, but because of the isolation that someone might feel because they don't have very many friends, or and they might not have many friends because, well, they don't look a certain way, and people want to be with someone who looks a certain way or someone who's cool. Do you think that influences or impacts negatively or positively on their academic success? Like, is that going to encourage them to do better, or how is that going to make them feel?
If you want to do something in school and an activity and all that, and you feel that, you know what, you might not be cut out for it, don't think bad about yourself. Because if you think bad about yourself, you're gonna think that throughout life. Think positive. Think that, you know what, let me try that. If I don't like it, you know what, I move on to something else.
And it was a pleasure having you here on the show. Everyone, thank you so much for joining us. It's been a pleasure. This conversation's been great. Thank you for coming to another episode of Nightshade After Dark. My name is Michael Shepard, and we will see you next time. Have a good night, everyone. Bye-bye.